Well, I think right now America suffers from the fact that we have a president who believes that our national security policy should be engaging our enemies and distancing ourselves from our allies. And it's making us less safe, less trusted, and less respected around the world. I believe firmly in the Reagan doctrine of peace through strength, and I believe we need to restore that as our national security platform.
Now, what about all the reports coming out of Mexico? Hezbollah is has a strong foothold in Mexico. How that correlates with our immigration issue down the border? How do you see that?
Well, I've said all along that our immigration issue on the southern border is not just an economic issue. I know that people talk about it in those terms, and there are economic impacts to it, but there are national security threats, as you just mentioned, of documented cases of Hezbollah coming across the border. It's an economic issue, it's a security issue, it's a moral issue that we must secure our borders. We must not allow amnesty. We must do a better job of protecting our country, and that begins right there on our southern border.
Now, you also mentioned the threat of Sharia-compliant Islam. Now, you're not singling out Islam as a whole, but the radical aspects of it.
I've singled out specifically, and I'm very careful to say this because we all know that there are peaceful Muslims, and the reality is, though, is that there is a doctrine of Sharia compliance that is intending to destroy the West, and that takes place on foreign soil, and now we're starting to witness even some of that infiltration here in the United States. And so it's very specific to Sharia compliant Islam and the threat that it poses to us here in America.
Now, what do you think of President Obama's thumbing his nose at some of the friendlier countries in the Middle East that are going through this turmoil?
Well, I think it just goes back to the whole philosophy that President Obama has had since he's taken office, which is distancing ourselves from our friends and engaging our enemies. And I think it's something that has made us less safe, less trusted, and less respected. Listen, these are very difficult times, and things are happening at very breakneck speed. But the problem with President Obama is that he doesn't have a core belief. He doesn't have a core national security philosophy that allows him to just go in and make decisions on those issues. And so they're playing a lot of guessing. You saw it in Egypt, where one day they were on one side, the other day they were on the other. And I think we need a president that understands that Reagan philosophy of peace through strength. And America is weaker when we have the type of fiscal crisis that we have, and our enemies and others around the world understand that we sometimes can't act in our best interest. And so I think that our economic issues are tied also directly to our national security issues.
Now, you're on the verge of announcing for U.S. Senate 2012 against Bill Nelson. If you are elected senator, what are you going to do about this as far as all we're getting from D.C. is lip service regarding the illegal immigration issue and the threat of Sharia law? That's obviously it's imminent.
Well, I can tell you this, I will be one of the strongest voices on those issues. I'm not afraid to say what needs to be said. I've proven in the state legislature that regardless of some of the political attacks and the fact that people might have bad things to say about me personally, that I'm not afraid to say the things that need to be said. And I'm going to take this same message around the state, and we're going to have this conversation about why America needs to address these issues for economic reasons, for security reasons, and again for our fundamental values that make America who we are.
Now, wouldn't that be a good idea not to bring in such a tone to bring a fear to other people?
My question to you
yes.
is, will you stand with me and denounce Hamas?
Sure,
okay,
I'd be glad to.
Good.
With pleasure.
Good. Will you stand with me and denounce the types of Sharia laws that say that you can't be critical of Islam? Or will you stand with me to say that that anyone who wants to leave Islam and convert to Christianity, it's not apostasy, and that they shouldn't be killed, or that there shouldn't be honor? If you stand with me on those issues, then we can be friends. Thank you.
I will be happy.
Thank you.
My oldest daughter, born and raised in a Muslim house, married a Christian man.
Right.
Still my daughter.
Good. Thank you.
See?
And you understand that.
So I think the way you're coming out, I believe if anyone sitting out there like